Gordon, you've watched the concept of aesthetic cognitivism, which you had in your book 20 years ago, and in the late 90s develop and now become kind of a framework that some people are using to try to understand the arts and using the arts to maybe discern bigger meanings in reality. So if you look ahead another 20 years, what kind of aspirations would you have for aesthetic cognitivism? If we were sitting here 20 years in the future, looking back, what would you say would have been good progress that will have been made?
Well, I suppose that what I'd be most interested in is, and this might be in a way a negative result, but I would be interested to find out really just how much an understanding of neurophysiology has contributed to our understanding of the role and nature of art in human experience. So I take it that this is, in a way, what everything in cognitive science, including the neurophysiological elements, is designed or intended to reveal is something about our apparatus, our physiological apparatus, as the means by which we apprehend realities. And I don't say this couldn't ever reveal anything, which is a line, of course, that people take. But I do say the interesting thing about this development is to see just how far it can go. And I would say the same thing, not just in aesthetics, but in ethics, to see just how far pursuing certain kinds of investigation in psychology and neurophysiology, accompanied, I'll put it no stronger than that, accompanied by philosophical sensitivity to the issues and the history of their discussion, just how far that could go.
Certainly, the concept of correlation is a principle in neuroscience that is developing and developing very well. But in each of these areas, whether it's aesthetics or morality or even the nature of consciousness itself, you always come back to the identity problem. Are you claiming that what you find in neurophysiology is this element, and it's the intentionality, the aboutness, that you have neurons firing in the brain, and how is that about morality? I mean, this is perhaps the fundamental question in philosophy of mind, and it's no different in aesthetics as it is in other areas, in particular the nature of consciousness itself.
Well, my view, for what it's worth, and I should say I'm speaking to some degree in ignorance.
But you know you're ignorant. Some people who speak in it don't know that. So
But,
you're already ahead of most people.
I think, well, undoubtedly, when we are talking about the aesthetic and the ethical, but other aspects of human experience too, we're talking about emergent properties. Now the question is how far emergent properties, and there is no doubt that they are emergent, how far they can be explained by the processes that predated their emergence. And my thought would be that it may be the case that the apparatus that we have within us, the physiological apparatus, can be understood in a way that explains and illuminates the emergence. But the emergence will never then be completely explained, for the very simple reason that it is indeed emergent. If the more fundamental processes could offer us a full explanation, then there would be no application for the concept of an emergent property.
Yeah, emergence can be used in two ways: weak emergence and strong emergence.
Yes.
So weak emergence would be like the structure of water. It seems magical that oxygen and hydrogen, two gases, you put them together and you get wet liquid that has the wetness to it. But with a deep understanding, you can show how that emerges. But that's weak emergence.
That's weak emergence.
Yeah, what you're talking about is strong emergence, where in principle one would say you could never reduce one to the other. Some people deny that there is strong emergence. It's just lack of knowledge.
It seems to me that to assert that there is no strong emergence is to fly in the face of facts. Now, I know that people who deny this will say, no, we're talking about the facts. But scientific inquiry of that kind is a form of abstraction. It abstracts from experience, and it discards certain elements of experience in order, for very good reasons, in order to frame theories and so on. And that discarding, that abstraction, I want to assert again and again, of course is going to rule out strong emergence. Because it's precisely discounting the very thing we're interested in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just looking 20 years in the future, how might aesthetic cognitivism reflect back on the nature of art itself? Not the mechanism by which it occurs.
If it did reflect back upon it, then it would say something about the importance and significance of artistic endeavour in human life and the promotion of human life and well-being.